Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this week's energy forecast. I'm Sarah Louise, I'm an intuitive, I'm a reader of the cosmic weather, and I'm here to share with you what I feel is coming up this week and how you can best navigate yourself through the current cosmic weather and the waves that we may be riding. So, I feel like before I even talk about this week, I need to just kind of reflect a little bit on last week because the energy was hectic. And kind of about midway through that week, I was like, what is going on? Like, is it really like I talked about like the slowing down and the kind of the need to kind of walk gently and, tread carefully. And I feel like I wasn't given all the information, probably because it would have scared a lot of us. Like that energy last week was hectic. And I tuned in kind of about midway through the week, like, what is going on? What is this? And what I felt was it was the kind of last bit of the cycle from that Scorpio full moon we had a few weeks ago. And it was like we called it the emotional detox stage, where it was like letting go of grief, releasing, and through that kind of emotional releasing, there was a lot of physical kind of adjusting and releasing and letting go. So if there was some points last week that you were just a bit like, whoa, then yeah, you weren't alone, you were on track and you were riding those waves of the energies that were really kind of present. So the realignments that are happening right now are huge. The generational healing and the karma cleansing and clearing is huge. The ability to kind of like step into the truth of who we are is like on a whole new level. And when we do that, the clarity of the universal messages and kind of all of that will just feel so in flow. So if at times, and this can happen at all different times for everyone, you feel like there's a real breaking down and there's a real shattering and it's like you can't go on the way you were and you have to change some of those conditions and those patterning, and it's such a challenge, and you want to cry and you just don't want to do it another way, or the universe is slow and you write down and there's nothing you can do but slow down when it's holding you so strongly. Like, all I can say to you is you please trust, please surrender, please understand that there is so much going on that is so deep. Like, the healing is so deep. Like, it's okay. And, the pushing through, being stoic, I just don't think that that's the way at the moment. It's soft and gentle and in flow and in alignment. And when we're doing that, and when we're living that way, as and it's, for a lot of us that doesn't, this week I'm always very busy and I always say yes, and there was a couple of times I said, I'm really sorry, I can't this week, or can we rearrange that? And that is so unlike me, but it's like I know deep down that if I don't start to do that now, it's gonna have real big repercussions on me, because I want to be in flow and I need to, So if last week was hectic, and it's okay, this week I promise you will get better. If you feel like you're doing what I was just saying and you're, in these kind of big, and you feel a bit tired or a bit drained or a bit kind of empty, or, just know that the shifting and the evolving and the is just so sped up at the moment. We've also got Saturn kind of giving us a real kind of shove in the back in the right direction. So it's like, you know, if we're kind of going over here and that's the way we've always gone, and Saturn's gone, actually, like, I know you've been doing that, but it's time to like step over here now. If we're not listening and we don't go, okay, we will get that kind of pull over there, you know, and that can feel a bit hectic. So we've got to listen to our body, listen to our energy, and be in flow, and allow what needs to come up. Yeah. It's a weird time. It's really weird. And I feel like luckily this week it's gonna feel a bit lighter because we're now in Gemini season. I feel like we'll step more into that Gemini energy because we're gonna go in, we've got that new moon in Gemini coming in, and it's like, oh, breath of fresh air, like let's be a bit superficial. Like I thought this could come in last week, but it didn't quite hit. So it's kind of now, it's like, you know, let's talk about your social life. Let's just chat, you know. And I feel like we need to just lighten up a little bit this week because it has been so deep and so heavy. And lighten up on ourselves and lighten up in life. Yeah. The Gemini wants us to balance, and especially around this new moon, balance the kind of external, internal world, our kind of logic and our feeling. Yeah, just try and keep that kind of in alignment if we can. Be careful of our communication. It's Gemini, it's all around, you know, communication, thoughts, words hold a lot of power. It's also very airy. So this week, what would I tell you? You know, yes, jot some stuff down for your intention setting for this Gemini new moon. And why don't you walk around singing it? Because why not? You know, we've all got little songs that we sing. Mine used to be, I'm a money magnet. And if any of my friends were like struggling financially, I'd be like, just sing the money magnet song. It's so good. Look it up if you don't know it. But yeah, sing it, hum it, you know, put some tone, some noise to your intention setting this week under that Gemini. It's communication, it's releasing it from your throat energy center. So, you know, think of what you've written and get the feeling going. Yeah, it definitely feels better this week. I just want to say, you know, if we can face the stuff as it comes up, we're gonna know that we're feeling super on track. And last week I had like, you know, some old stuff coming up and some, you know, things that I had to kind of tune into, and, you know, memories were coming up. And anyway, I went for a beautiful walk with a girlfriend of mine, and we were talking about, you know, the inner child, and I was talking a lot about my father who died 15 years ago. And, you know, we had this beautiful conversation and it was lovely. And I kind of said goodbye to her and I got in my car and drove off, and I was thinking, you know, oh, that, you know, that makes sense. And, you know, when you voiced and cleared, and I was thinking about my dad, and then a friend of mine sent me a text message saying, beautiful morning, daughter, have a glorious day. And I looked at the message and I thought, wow, they've sent me that by accident, but there is no accidents. And how beautiful is that? Yeah, this beautiful, you know, confirmation from the universe, from my dad, you know, because, you know, what his energy, his physical body's not here, but his energy's gonna be around, right? So I was like, oh, how funny the universe is when you face and you're in flow and you're allowing and you're not suppressing, and, you know, that these beautiful external confirmations come in. And I was like that, and I called my friend and I said, what's with, and they're like, oh, so sorry. And I told them, and they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm not sorry. I was obviously meant to send that to you. But, you know, I'm just kind of saying these little things because that's how it goes. If something comes up, rather than resisting it and pushing it away, it's like, oh, it's come up. It might feel uncomfortable, but there's something I need to work with here. There's some, you know, some old pattern coming in. I need to look at that. Like even my dog saying, yeah, you need to look at that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we don't have no lives this week. You can do your, Charlie, you can do your own new moon intention setting. As I said, write it down, sing it, hum it, put it out there, and enjoy a bit of a lighter week. I feel like it is definitely a recovery week. So enjoy that, because, you know, when I come here and connect with you next week, we are in June, and the energy of June is a very different vibration to May. So I will talk about that when we get there, but just enjoy this recovery week. Yeah, please rest. Please look after yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. And if we are pulled to slow down, it's for a reason greater than what we know in the present moment, and we trust that. Yeah. Stay grounded, stay nourished, stay centered, and yeah, just keep checking in. Your truth, who you are. Keep aware of what this mind's doing. Yeah. Your mind is, you know, you're either the master of your mind or your mind will master you. And, you know, my mind, I am the master. Yeah. Have an amazing week. I love you lots. And yep, I'll see you next week.